This is Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? You greatly appreciate it. Come on in, make yourself at home. You know the routine. This channel is for movie lovers of all types. Doesn't matter what your format or what your genre is. Your format can be Betamax, Laserdisc, VHS, 3D, 4K, doesn't matter. Same with the genre. It could be documentaries, sci-fi, drama, action, adventure. You guys are all welcome as long as you love movies. This week, for my collection video, I want to focus on underdog movies. I believe most people, if not all people, love underdogs movies where you have the kind of David and Goliath scenario. And what's really great about underdog movies, sometimes you can actually lose the fight or lose the competition, but overall win the battle. And I'll give an example of that. I remember a few years ago watching the NCAA basketball tournament. And there was this team in there I never heard of. I believe it was Davidson College. And there was this kind of skinny, not overly sized player knocking threes, just making it rain, just choom, 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 just killing it. And make a long story short, I believe they beat the higher seed. Maybe won a game or two, but they didn't make it to the final 8 or the final 4. They didn't win any NCAA tournament. Fast forward a few years later, this man is playing for the Golden State Warriors. This guy is Steph Curry. He ends up winning like 3 or 4 championships. I don't know how many MVPs. So I think that's a perfect example of overcoming obstacles and maybe not winning that initial fight or that initial contest, but overall winning the battle. That's what these stories are about. That's what I love about these stories. And I think that's what most people gravitate toward these movies. And I wanted to be inclusive, kind of diversify the type of movies that I chose, so they're not all drama. I have some comedies in there. We got 3 Disney pictures in there. Just have a couple non-sports underdog movies, which I thought were important because not everyone's into sports. So I wanted to be as inclusive as possible for this video. So without further ado, sit back, relax, have a drink of a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. We're back at the Black Cave. Back at the Black Cave. We are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. I'm going to kick it off with my number 10 pick. This is the 1979 comedy, originally from 20th Century Fox, Breaking Away. It's directed by Peter Yates, produced by Art Levinson, written by Steve DeSiche. This stars Dennis Christopher, a young Dennis Quaid, a young Daniel Stern, Jackie Earle Haley, Barbara Barry. The plot behind this: Dave, 19, had just graduated high school with his 3 friends: the comical Cyril, the warm-hearted but short-tempered Moocher, and the athletic but spiteful but good-hearted Mike. Now, Dave enjoys racing bikes and hopes to race the Italians one day, and even takes up Italian culture, much to his friends' parents' annoyance. And this is just a really feel-good movie. Essentially, you have these kids from the neighborhood, middle class, lower to middle class, and in their city on a seasonal basis, you have like the very rich and elite come in and kind of take over their town and kind of overlook them and kind of step on them. And this is their way, I guess, the bike race or the cycling race of them standing up to the rich elite and kind of saying that we matter. Great movie, great feel-good movie. This is, I believe, out of print. It's a Twilight Time, originally from 20th Century Fox, the 1979 comedy, Breaking Away. My number 2 pick is the comedy drama family sports film from 1992, The Mighty Ducks. This was directed by Stephen Herrick, produced by John Avnet, written by Stephen Brill. This stars Emilio Estevez, Josh Ackland, Lane Smith, Heidi Kling, Joseph Summer, a very young Joshua Jackson, Eldon Henson, and became a Joshua Jackson fan from this, and of course Fringe, the television show. The plot behind this: after reckless young lawyer Gordon Bombay gets arrested for drunk driving, he must coach a kids' hockey team for his community service. Gordon has experience on the ice but isn't eager to return to hockey. A point hit by his tense dealings with his own former coach, Jack Riley, the reluctant Gordon eventually grows to appreciate his team, which includes promising young Charlie Conway, and leads him to take Riley's tough players. And very fun movie, very popular movie. I believe this was inspired by the 1980s USA American hockey team that beat Russia. They actually made a movie with Kurt Russell called Miracle. I believe this is kind of the inspiration. This is my opinion. I don't know for a fact though, but very fun movie. I'm not even a hockey fan. My first hockey game I was invited to and was really reluctant to go. And they said, well, we got tickets on the glass. I'm like, what does that mean? I have no idea. I get there, my seats are so close, I can lean forward and touch the glass. And you have these football player guys with skates on them, they look like basketball players, whizzing by you. I don't know how fast they're going, checking them like feet away from you. People are throwing octopus or octopi on the ice. I have no idea what that meant, but it made me appreciate hockey that much more. So great hockey movie, so good it spawned Mighty Ducks 2, Mighty Ducks 3, and I believe they might have had a TV show. I can't remember if I watched that on the Disney Channel though. But my number 10 pick, Underdog Stories, The Mighty Ducks. My number 8 pick, another Disney pick, is the adventure comedy family history sports film Cool Runnings from 1993. This was directed by John Turteltaub, produced by Jeffrey Bidalick, written by Len Seifert. This stars Leon, you might remember him if you ever saw The Five Heartbeats, Dougie Doug, Wally D. Lewis, Malik Yoba from New York Undercover, John Candy, Raymond J. Berry, Peter Outerbridge. The plot behind this: when a Jamaican sprinter is disqualified from the Olympic Games, he enlists the help of a dishonored coach to start the first Jamaican bobsled team. And this is actually, believe it or not, based on a real life story. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you though, but this is an example of overcoming astronomical obstacles to achieve your goal and to stand with the elite and the best of the best. You understand, Jamaica, they have no snow. So they had to find ways to actually simulate snow, kind of make up a makeshift, whatever they call it, sled. And again, coming to an Olympic atmosphere, already kind of being shunned, and yet standing tall and doing what you have to do. John Candy does a phenomenal job along with Leon, Dougie Doug, Malik Yoba. Very fun picture. Has some dramatic scenes. It's Disney drama though, but excellent film. So my number 8 for Underdog Films is the 1993 Disney film Cool Runnings. My number 7 pick is the 2002 Universal drama music 8 Mile. This was directed by Curtis Hanson, produced by Carol Fenelon, written by Scott Silver. This stars Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem, Kim Basinger, Mekhi Phifer, Brittany Murphy, Evan Jones, Omar Benson Miller, D'Angelo Wilson, Eugene Bird. The plot behind this: for Jimmy Smith Jr., life is a daily fight just to keep hope alive. Feeding his dreams in Detroit's vibrant music scene, Jimmy wages an extraordinary personal struggle to find his own voice and earn a place in a world where rhymes rule. Legends are born in every moment in another chance. And so, even though this is not a sports movie, this is a phenomenal underdog movie. It's based on Eminem's real life. if you like rap, if you like battle rap, the outtakes in here are just crazy over the top. And Eminem pretty much crosses cultural barriers. Prior to Eminem, as far as white rappers go, you had the Beastie Boys, which were respected, even though they were originally a punk rock group. Their first album, License to Ill, is hip hop gold. It's a legendary album. But then you had rappers like Snow, One Hit Wonder, Third Base, which was decent. Then you have Vanilla Ice, which was a total joke. So he kind of came in having to prove himself as a real MC, not just a gimmick. And the movie kind of shows his struggles with his personal life and trying to be accepted in a culture that at that time really wasn't that accepting. And, well, I don't want to give off the plot if you haven't seen it, though, but very great movie, great soundtrack. My number 7 pick for Underdog Movies, 2002's 8 Mile. My number 6 pick is another Disney Buena Vista film. This is a 2000 biography drama family sports film, Remember the Titans, based on a real-life story. Directed by Boaz Yakin, produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, written by Gregory Allen Howard. This stars my man, the legend, Denzel Washington, Will Patton, Wood Harris, Ryan Hurst, Donald Faison, Craig Kirkland, Ethan Suplee. Kate Bosworth is in here also. The plot behind this: after leading his football team to 15 winning seasons, Coach Bill Yost is demoted and replaced by Herman Boone, tough, opinionated, and as different from the beloved Yost as he could be. The two men learn to overcome their differences and turn a group of hostile young men into champions. And another story based on real life. This is another story where you had completely different cultures, white and black, during civil rights, joining together, which at that time was really unheard of. And to have a white coach stand down for a black coach, especially a white coach with 15 years of winning experience, of course you're going to outrage anyone, regardless of your ethnicity. And it just shows how, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, people are just people. Boys are just boys. Athletes are just athletes. And if you can block out the other BS, you can come together and win as a team. Fantastic underdog story, just a beautiful story. This is the Buena Vista Walt Disney 2000 biography drama family sports film, Remember the Titans. My number 5 pick is the 2004 drama sports film, $1 Million Baby. This was directed and produced by Clint Eastwood, written by Paul Haggis, starring Clint Eastwood, Hilary Swank, Morgan Freeman, Jay Baruchel, Mike Coulter, Brian F. O'Brien. Anthony Mackie's also in here, which I don't remember. Michael Pena is also in here, which I didn't remember. The plot behind this: despondent over a painful estrangement from his daughter, trainee Frankie Dunn isn't prepared for boxer Maggie Fitzgerald to enter his life, but Maggie's determined to go pro and convince Dunn and his cohort to help her. And this is another movie, and this is Warner Brothers release, of individual crossing cultural barriers. Boxing has historically been a male sport, a male-dominated sport. It still is to a certain extent, but back then it was kind of, it's less feminine. You're not as much of a lady, you're less feminine. You're not a woman participating in man's sports. So Hilary Swank did a great job of showing her femininity, her vulnerability, as well as showing her overall toughness and determination to accomplish her goals. And I'm not going to give you the plot though, but very dramatic, very touching film. Even though I have my issues with Clint Eastwood, personally, the old guy can make some movies. He's kind of turned into the grouchy old man though, but the guy can pump out some movies. He's a great director. I have to give props where props is due. So my 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 pick, Warner Brothers, Clint Eastwood, 2004, $1 Million Baby. My number 4 pick is the 20th Century Fox drama foreign romance film, Slumdog Millionaire. It's directed by Danny Boyle, written by Christian Coulson, written by Simon Beaufoy. It stars Dev Patel, Saruba Shakula, Anil Kapoor, Rajendranath Zutshi, and Geneva Tawar. And I apologize, I probably ruined those people's names. The plot behind this, a teenager reflects on his life after being accused of cheating on the Indian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And this one, Best Picture Academy Award for a reason. I think it was like probably maybe a decade before I actually watched this. Mistake on my part. Beautifully shot film. It looks beautiful. I love how they would gather from faraway shots all the colors, the beautiful colors of the slum, but then they will kind of focus in the actual slum. Then you will see kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. You see the crime. You see the poverty. You see the poor conditions they're living in, and it contrasts that with the very elite that live completely different. They're in mansions. They're living the best life, and it shows that contrast. It shows Dev Patel trying to get out of a situation, as well as protect his love interest. It's romance, there's action, beautiful shots, funny scenes. I love the outhouse scene. Again, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you. The outhouse scene cracks me up. That's the first thing I think about with Slumdog Millionaire. And I love how Dev Patel, not just movie, but a lot of his movie, he stays true to his roots, his Indian roots. Even at the end of this, he has a scene that's an homage to a genre of music and dance at the end. Fantastic movie. You haven't seen this, rent it on TV, buy it, stream it, definitely watch Slumdog Millionaire. So my 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 pick, 20th Century Fox, 2008 Slumdog Millionaire. My number 3 pick, Columbia Pictures / Sony, 1984 action drama family sports film, The Karate Kid. It's directed by John G. Avildsen, produced by R.J. Lewis, written by Robert Mark Kamen. This stars Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, Elizabeth Shue, Martin Kove, Randy Heller, William Zabka, Ron Thomas, Rob Garrison, Chad McQueen, and Tony O'Dell. The plot behind this, Daniel moves to Los Angeles with his mother, Lucille, and soon strikes up a relationship with Ali. He quickly finds himself the target of bullying by a group of high school students led by Ali's ex-boyfriend, Johnny, who studies karate at the Cobra Kai dojo under ruthless sensei John Kreese. Fortunately, Daniel befriends Mr. Miyagi, an unassuming repairman who just happens to be a martial arts master himself. Miyagi takes Daniel under his wing, training him in a more compassionate form of karate for self-defense and later preparing him to compete against the brutal Cobra Kai. And this is like one of the quintessential 80s movies that if you want to pick out a top 50 80s movie, Karate Kid has to be in it. It was so popular. As you see, it spawned 3 other movies, a remake with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. Also kicked off a television show on Netflix, Cobra Kai, which I got my son to watch for the first 3 seasons. He's just like, that's a little bit too corny for me. And to a certain extent, it is a little corny. It's 80s corny, but it's again a good feel movie, a feel-good movie, teaching lessons of compassion. Again, another crossing cultures with European or American, with Asian and Chinese. That's just not the karate, but the whole wax on, wax off kind of philosophy of life. So, fantastic film, fun watch. I actually hope Cobra Kai has another season now. I don't know if they will, though. They might be pushing it, though. But just love that 80s corniness, that, again, good feel music. So, good feel movie. So, my number 3 pick, 1984's Karate Kid. My number 2 pick is the 1976 drama sports MGM movie, Rocky. And just finding this out, this was also directed by John G. Avildsen, also directed Karate Kid, produced by Robert Chartoff, written by Sylvester Stallone. This stars Sylvester Stallone, Talia Shire, Burt Young, the late Carl Weathers, may he rest in peace. Same with Burgess Meredith, may he rest in peace. Thayer David. The plot behind this, an uneducated collector for a Philadelphia loan shark is given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to fight against the world heavyweight boxing champion, Apollo Creed. And again, great comeback story. If you haven't seen Rocky, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but you have stylistically, talent-wise, someone that is way less talented than the champion, Apollo Creed. He's slower. He doesn't move very well. Apollo Creed is lightning fast. The character Apollo Creed was somewhat fashioned after Muhammad Ali. The fast speed, the bravado, the smooth-talking, articulate boxer. That was Apollo Creed. Rocky was just the opposite. Didn't speak very well, didn't move very well. He was a southpaw, left-handed, which most boxers don't like to fight because they do everything backwards. If you ever fought or tried to spar with someone like that, it's a little interesting. But fantastic film, a lot of heart. Every time I think of this movie, I think of Eddie Murphy, his stand-up routine. I forgot if it's Delirious or Raw, where the guy is at the theater, is just like, yeah, I like a box of popcorn, a big soda, some juju beans, and the Moulignon is going to pay for it right here. I was like, oh, little man, you must have just watched Rocky. That just cracks me up. But fantastic film, so popular. Yeah, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa. Then it did kind of a sub-spin-off with Creed, with 3 other Creed movies. And the best ones, I think, will probably be 3 and 4, if I'm correct, where he fights Dolph Lundgren and Mr. T. Love those movies. So my number 2 pick for greatest underdog movies of all time, this is the 1976 MGM's Rocky. And my number 1 pick is the 2013 Warner Brothers biography drama sports film, 42. This was directed by Brian Helgeland, produced by Jason Clarke, written by Brian Helgeland. So written and directed by Brian Helgeland. This stars the late Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace, Black Panther, Harrison Ford, Nicole Beharie, Christopher Maloney, Ryan Merriman, Lucas Black, Andre Holland. The plot behind this, in 1946, Branch Rickey, played by Harrison Ford, owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers, took a stand against Major League Baseball infamous color line when he signed Jackie Robinson, played by Chadwick Boseman, to the team. The deal put both men in the crosshairs of the public, the press, and even other players. Facing unabashed racism from every side, Robinson was forced to demonstrate tremendous courage and let his talent on the field win over the fans and his teammates, silencing his critics and forever changing the world by changing the game of baseball. And I'm going to do my best not to rant about this. Fantastic movie. I guess I feel somewhat close to it because I actually read the book, the Jackie Robinson story, as a kid. And they kind of watered down all the stuff he had to go through. But imagine in the mid-40s being the only black player in a league that doesn't want you. And to add more layers to this, they pulled Jackie Robinson from the Negro Leagues. Satchel Paige was one of the big stars back then. Jackie Robinson wasn't even the best player in the Negro League. He was one of the standouts, but he wasn't the best player. And the reason why the coach from the Brooklyn Dodgers picked him, 1, he was talented, but 2, for his temperament. He needed someone that could take all the criticism, all the racism, all the violence that was going to be headed toward him and still be able to perform. And that's what makes Jackie Robinson such a phenomenal underdog story, phenomenal American. And not to get too social, because not that type of channel. People like Jackie Robinson, they're trying to erase his history, and that's a travesty. It's an American history. It's an American underdog story, and if you don't think that could happen, I live in Florida where they're actually banning physical media. They're banning books in public schools, public libraries. So what's to say his story won't be erased, or his story, or Eminem's stories from 8 Mile, or Cool Runnings? Those stories could possibly be taken away either through censorship or just not printing any more copies, making them out of print. So that's my little quick rant. So my number 1 pick for great underdog stories, Chadwick Boseman, Harrison Ford, 2 of my favorite actors, 2013 biography drama sports film, 42. And these are my top 10 best underdog movies of all time in my collection. If you made this far in the video, smash a like. Give me the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. If you have your favorite underdog picture, please leave it in the comments. Don't be afraid. Don't leave comments. No one hurt you. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone, please be safe. Deuces.